Wait.
that
All right,
it's gonna
now we're
take 15.
recording, so let's talk, guys.
Well,
So first
I'm
off,
gonna need you
no. That's fine. Neil, am I? Wait,
to,
I'm trying to get this.
Judge Schneider. Do not call me Neil in my court. Okay, that's disrespect, and I will hold you under contempt.
Your Honor, Your Honor. Well, I didn't
Judge
get
Schneider.
production ready. I didn't go to hair and makeup because I just thought we could just do a quick little
Hey.
recording. First off, no. How are you feeling, Will?
No, let's not
How, no,
discuss
how
that.
how are you
Yeah,
feeling?
I don't think it's recording, Jay. It should say it's recording and it's not.
Oh,
And
trust
if
me,
you do
Will.
record it, you need to say all local audio or whatever, and record locally.
Neil, I love the background, by the way.
Yeah, that's
I figured out how
smart.
to do it. I figured out how to do it on my phone, and I'm basically a marketing genius. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Everyone's
And
talking about it. Everyone's like,
I,
"Damn, what's that shirt you guys are wearing?" I'm like, "Oh, you'll find out in the
No,
show
so
notes."
so how are you feeling, Will? Hello?
he's dead.
I feel great.
You feel great? You feel great? So what
Ever
why don't
You
you
want to
just
hear the backstory?
yeah,
This is
tell the
what they're
viewers.
trying to so last night I went for a little run, which I normally do.
Okay.
Was
we
running.
all know the story.
No.
Huh?
The viewers don't know
No
the
one
story though,
else
Neil.
knows the story
Oh, I
except
didn't know
us
we
three,
were
you
recording.
idiot.
I didn't know we were recording. First of all, you don't ever call the judge an idiot. Now I'm already against you. You just need to learn these things. The
Okay.
court is now in session. Will is the
So
defendant. Will is the defendant
Right.
in this case,
done.
and Jay is the prosecutor.
Yeah.
And
I'm the
they're both
plaintiff.
in my court. In my court of law, Judge Schneider is going to let the defendant speak first.
Oh,
William,
whoops.
please.
I'm running something in the
Opening
background.
argument. And also to the prosecution, you said this proceeding is going to be 15 minutes, and I already know that is a lie. So I may hold you under contempt.
Okay, well
Will,
thanks for
go
the
ahead.
rules. Let's get to the story. Okay, so why don't you just what happened last night, Will? Why don't you just tell the
I'm
viewers?
gonna tell you.
And there's all this ringing in the background. Hold on, I'm gonna have to black this out in the video. Boom.
There's a shirt behind me if anyone.
All right,
Really
we're back.
nice shirt.
Will, why don't you? Yeah, we can see the shirt, Your Honor. Will, why don't you tell everyone what happened last night?
This is what happened last night. I went for a run, which I normally do. Maybe I didn't have as much for lunch. Maybe I didn't drink enough water. Not sure. But anyways, I get like halfway through the run, start working out, and I get a little lightheaded, and kind of my vision gets a little bit blurry. So I stopped working out. Walk back home. I'm chilling. Then a headache starts to come on, and I've had this before, where when I'm working out too hard or I haven't drank enough water, that I just get dehydrated and the headache comes on. So start drinking some water, take a shower, start making some food. I start eating the
Unnecessary
food, and I'm
information.
sitting. No, this isn't necessary. So I'm sitting there with my elbows on the table, and I think that might have been it. But somehow, long story short, my left arm starts to go numb, or at least my right hand. There's some tingling sensations in my hand. Think that's kind of strange,
Pins and needles, like that
especially
kind of
with
thing.
all the blurred vision. So I get up. I'm thinking, I'm like, well, I don't think this is a stroke, but I've always heard that it could be.
Well, didn't you say your tongue also went numb?
Like one side of your body or the
Oh shit, he's
other
having a stroke now.
side. So if you go look in the mirror, can I?
Hold on, you glitched out. Wait, so what about your tongue?
I haven't got to that yet.
Okay.
Because what happened was I went to the bathroom, smiled in the mirror to make sure that my face wasn't drooping. Put my arms out to make sure that one hand wasn't, none of that was happening. So I'm like, well, that was kind of weird. Go back, sit down, and then my tongue / mouth also starts to go numb. And at this point, I'm like, all right, this is kind of weird. Not really sure what this is about. Never happened before. call up a remote doctor, and they're like, yeah, that seems, if it was something dehydration, I would expect that to happen on both sides of your body, not just one. So I would recommend you going to the urgent care ER at the hospital. They wait there for 4 fucking hours to even get accepted, which, I mean, it is what it is. There's a pandemic going on, I guess, but they separate all the COVID stuff away. Like, they are screening people at the door and sending them to a different section anyways. So this shouldn't be COVID related. So I get done. They go through the test. They're like, you have elevated your blood pressure.
It's happening again, Neil. It's happening. He's having a stroke.
They do these neurological tests. God, I wonder what so I do these neurological tests. I pass all those. They can't
insane
find
that you
wrong.
pass those
they do
too.
An EKG. Yes, they said that. Yeah, they're like, yeah. I mean, this is how you're supposed to do the test.
Okay.
Because it's like this. They put your arm out. You go like this. You put their hand. You put your nose to theirs. You rub your leg up and down your own leg. Bunch of stuff. So I pass all those, and then I bring up. I'm like, well, they're like, well, have you been anyone around COVID? And maybe a month ago, one of my friends had symptoms but was never confirmed. So like, okay, well, that's a pretty long time. We're not going to test you for that because you're not showing any other symptoms. So you don't have a fever. You're not coughing. You don't have shortness of breath. You're super young.
When they said that, the court wants to know, did you say, oh, okay, which the court believes you did because the court knows you very well, and that's a very Will Trainer thing to do? Or did you combat it and say, no, I want to be tested?
Okay,
so the court wants an answer. Which one is it?
It's definitely the first one. They're like, well, we're not going to test you. And I'm like, okay, well, that's
interesting.
Fine.
That's very interesting. Now, if we can switch gears a little bit, you got discharged from the hospital.
No, we're still in the middle of the story.
Oh, it's still happening?
Yeah.
All right, what is it? What happened next, I mean?
What happened next?
Is he having another stroke?
Yeah.
Did the doctor say, I recognize you from your podcast?
Yeah, did you see any fans, any listeners in the waiting room?
They said that they couldn't tell anything. I'm super young and super low risk to be having a stroke. I'm otherwise healthy. They couldn't see anything wrong. They weren't sure what it was. They gave me some Tylenol, slapped me on the ass, and said goodnight at 3 a.m. So that's my story. Now let's get to where this story actually matters with Jay and his.
Well. Let me we let you have your side. All right, Your Honor. May I address the courtroom, please?
Does the defense rest?
The defense opening statement rests.
All right.
Honor.
I don't think that's how you say it technically, but I'm gonna allow it. This is my court, so it's okay. Prosecution opening statement, please.
Your Honor, earlier this afternoon, I received an interesting message on Instagram from the defendant, Mr. Will Trainer, and he said this. He said, "The stroke made me mature, guys. Life Alert Will is the Will we always wanted, but weren't sure we would ever get." And so my reply was that's interesting. The conversation about maturity, I think, is actually what my argument centers around. Now, let's just say I've been very strict about the pandemic with a few notable lapses. One was that I had a friend over, a female friend. I don't even know where the defendant is right now, by the way. He's in your room, it looks like.
I'm in your room because I wanted to get better, closer to the internet so it doesn't shut out.
Cool. So yeah, maturity. And so I thought, well, that's interesting that this stroke or possible stroke, because it sounds hell of a lot like a stroke to me. Numbness, in one side of the body, your tongue goes numb, confusion, dizziness, headache. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like a mini stroke. And then, of course, we all know that.
Sounds like the case of a Mondays.
Oh, God.
Go ahead.
And so what we've learned in recent weeks is that COVID, one of the complications of COVID is blood clotting. What do blood clots lead to? They lead to mini strokes. And actually, the interesting thing about these strokes compared to other types of strokes people are getting is that everyone who seems to be getting these strokes has no underlying health conditions, is fairly young, 30s, 40s, 50s, and that the strokes are being caused by like tiny blood clots, so they're getting these like TIAs or what they call like micro strokes. And yeah, so it does seem to be like, to counter what you said, it could potentially be COVID related. You've never gotten a stroke before randomly. So
is the prosecution saying that they do not trust the doctors that said this person does not fit any symptoms of COVID-19? Is that what the prosecution is trying to say?
No, I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying for a small percentage of people who are getting these strokes and who are having these, they're having no other symptoms. And the only time that they've caught people is when they have other symptoms. But there are supposedly people who have no other symptoms, no pre-existing conditions, no underlying health issues, and they're getting these microstrokes from COVID. And not only that, but my dad had a microstroke before. He had a small stroke before. And basically there's nothing you can do. Once it's gone, once the blood clot's cleared in your brain, unless there's still an obstruction, they can't tell really. So it's like, even if he had one of those, they wouldn't really be able to like know or do anything. Maybe they could do a ton of tests, but ultimately, unless there's still like an obstruction, then they can't really tell. So yeah. So I guess what my point is this. So today I was going to hang out with a friend who I hung out with. So I hung out with you on Saturday, Will. Let's say that you have COVID. You would have had it on Saturday. There's no way you just got it and then just got it. So you would have had it for a little while and been asymptomatic for the most part. I hung out with somebody on Monday, and now we can all see the damn shirt, Neil. Okay, everyone sees the shirt. All right?
I will. The next outburst like that, you will be held under contempt, and I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Go on.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. This is just a very emotional trial.
Go on.
So I hung out with Will Saturday. I hung out with my friend. She came over. She stayed the night Monday, right? She was supposed to come back again and potentially stay the night. However, there are a few risks that I need to now let her know. One, that Will probably has COVID and he's just asymptomatic and he had a stroke because he has blood clotting all over his body and the inside of his body and he's going to get another stroke very soon. So that's one theory out there. And so
that's your only theory, actually.
So the thing is this, Will, no one knows if you have COVID or not. One, because you didn't get tested, because the hospital was probably like, are you sure you don't want to get it tested, sir? And you were like, nah, I think I'm fine. I feel great. I feel super healthy. I just had a stroke. But, other than that, I'm feeling awesome.
Am I going to have to pay more money for this test?
Yeah, exactly.
If that's the case.
Yeah, wait, am I going to have to pay money for this? Because, brain damage is one thing, but I don't want to have to pay $1,000, especially because, we all know Will's hurting for money right now, right? I mean, you work from home. You didn't lose your job, right? That's one thing COVID hasn't taken away from you. So you're still getting paid. And you can't afford to go see if you had a stroke or not.
And someone's paying half his rent, the court believes.
So yeah. So one, you mean half his mortgage. So one thing.
Half his mortgage.
I just felt like it was prudent, Your Honor, to tell this lady, she'll go unnamed to protect the identity of the innocent. I thought it was prudent to tell her that, hey, my friend just went to the hospital last night. He had these interesting neurological symptoms. They let him go. Ultimately, he doesn't have any other symptoms. But I'm just saying, I went over to his house Saturday. I was very careful at your house, so I didn't even use a glass. I washed my hands a million times. I brought my own alcohol. I sat in Neil's armchair, and that was the only place I sat. So I was safe, but at the same time, I think it's just not right to just assume that I don't have it, especially if you're over there stroking out in your apartment. Meanwhile, she works with a young child. She's a nanny. What if that kid gets it? And then Will's like, oh, well, kids are fine. Well, not according to the article I read where kids are getting heart disease like months after fucking getting it in New York. So anyway, I'm just saying I think it was the right thing to do to at least tell her and let her make the decision.
Are you done?
Am I done, Your Honor? Can I please finish? Can I please finish? I don't think I've yielded my time
His
yet.
opening statement's still going. I'm gonna need the defendant to
But
shut
it's
the hell
Jay.
up.
So just to wrap
Jay-
up the
Defendant
ultimate,
needs to shut the hell up.
just
Prosecution, go ahead.
just to wrap up my ultimate opening statement. One, I think it was the right thing to do to at least let her know that there's a potential you have it. Two, I really wish you would have gotten tested so then we could know for sure whether you have it or not, and then we can actually have information as opposed to just having no information. And three, I would like to address your specific allegations, which you made via text to me at approximately 4 p.m. today, this afternoon, Mountain Time, is that you said, oh, this is all about me wanting to self-sabotage. As if I don't want to hang out with this lady friend who was going to come over and spend the night and have dinner. It was going to be great. No. You're right, Will. I just don't want to hang out with her. That's the whole reason for the situation, because I'm just sabotaging myself, and I don't actually want to hang out with her. And yeah, Will, that's the answer. Not that you probably have fucking COVID. You're going to have 1 million strokes probably, and you probably already have. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You know, I'm just going to refuse myself.
The prosecution should not be addressing the defendant. Please only talk to the judge.
Okay, so anyway.
Does the prosecution rest?
The prosecution rests, and you understand my points, right? One, it was the right thing to do to tell her. Two, Will should have gotten tested. And three, his ridiculous claim that it's self-sabotage and that I just actually want to, in his words, cockblock, very offensive term, Your Honor, but it was his, not mine. That I want to just cockblock myself all the time. No, Will, I don't want to do that. I want to hang out. I'm just trying to be safe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow, man. He just seems like such an upstanding citizen. This is, Your Honor, I would like to bring some evidence into the court. If we could get the defendant to show the text message, that would be, this is going to be very interesting how it's going to be worded. You can just read how, but it's going to be something like, you know what? Will was in the hospital and I think it really sounds like COVID, and I just really am looking out for you. And I just don't feel comfortable hanging out with you, even though the doctor said that he's super low risk chance of even having a stroke and he's not showing any symptoms. I don't want to do it for you, and I don't want to do it for me.
I'm sorry, Will, if you were actually listening to what I was saying, you would realize that the stroke...
The court will accept this evidence, and will take this evidence into What do you mean, no?
No, I said, evidence. Evidence is what we're talking about? Oh, well, let's look at the Washington Post. There's evidence there, right? Let's read some from this article from the Washington Post about the people who are getting strokes.
Let's not, because people can look it in the bio.
The court wants to hear the transcripts of said talks between the prosecution and said friend.
But Your Honor, let me just enter this into evidence. The title of the article is "A Mysterious Blood Clotting Complication is Killing."
Already explained all of this.
We're very aware. The court
is killing coronavirus patients.
You're not
the court is very aware of this article.
Young people are, and I do not. I agree that is happening. People that have had coronavirus are developing multiple blood clots, and some of those can lead to strokes. That's not the point.
With no clear patterns in terms of age or chronic conditions.
None of this matters.
Right? And so no underlying risk factors. Yeah, I mean, the answer, the article basically just, all the article says, is that the people who are getting strokes from coronavirus. He's having a fucking stroke now, Your Honor. Can we just, for the love of God. Okay, fine. So what do you want? You want to read some text? What do you want to do? What do we need to make a decision on who was right in this case? Will says he doesn't have COVID. He didn't have a stroke. I should just hang out with her. I say, no, I shouldn't, because it's not safe.
The court
is not safe because this is my point. This is my only point, is that you hung out with me before even seeing her. If you have it, you already have it. So, and you don't know who she's hanging out with. So the fact that you're putting this on me, that, it's something that I did, that I got you sick, and now that you're sick, you don't want to get her sick. If I was sick, you would have already been sick, because I haven't seen you since you saw her, and you have seen her. So what difference does it make you hanging out with her if you haven't seen me since then? That's my point.
the court would like to clarify a timeline. The last time the prosecutor and the defendant hung out together was last Saturday night. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Correct, Your Honor.
The prosecutor, Jay, hung out with a female Monday, 2 days after the hangout with the prosecution and defendant. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then the
Were there
defendant
any
had
symptoms?
and then the
He's asking
defendant
questions
had
now.
a stroke on Wednesday. Is that correct? That's 2 days after the Monday hangout between the prosecution and the female. Is that correct?
Correct.
And during that entire time, I have not seen anyone else. And I have had zero symptoms.
From Friday,
Zero
from
symptoms
Friday
except
till
for the
that
stroke.
Wednesday, from Friday till that Wednesday, you have not hung out with anyone else. Are you sure
No,
about
I
that?
have. No,
So why did you say that? Why did you lie in my court?
because
You
Jay
just
was
said-
also over when my friend was over.
Don't say your friend like that for sure, Your Honor.
Okay.
Please reprimand
So
him.
is that so?
Actually,
It's fair to
girlfriend.
say the prosecutor has not been self-isolating. The prosecutor has also been around another person other than the defendant. Is that correct?
Your Honor, prior to
Answer the question in my court.
Your Honor, prior to knowledge,
It's a yes or no question. So-
I have broken quarantine. If that's what the question is.
No, I believe you heard my question. And if you don't answer the question, I swear to God,
Okay, can you repeat the question?
did the defendant, did the prosecutor, has the prosecutor self-isolated, or has the prosecutor not only spent time with the defendant, but with one other person as well as the female that they hung out with on their own?
Yes, I've only hung out with Will and the female since Saturday. The female friend. I don't like calling her the female.
And my
That sounds-
girlfriend.
And there was another
Yeah.
girl involved.
Will's girlfriend was there Saturday. Yeah.
So
She
You
is
did hang out with
not. That
somebody
is
else.
not. Don't even bring her into this because that has nothing.
I didn't know she was immune to COVID-19.
See, this
And
is
again,
this is the type of reasoning, Your Honor, that really just boggles my mind. It's like Will is just so certain. Oh, I don't have COVID. No, you don't know that you have COVID or not. There's a difference between I don't have it and I don't know if I have it. And then
Okay,
similarly, Will, it's also like, okay, well, just because you saw her Monday means she would already have it. No, Will, because we don't know how this thing transmits. I could have been asymptomatic and non-transmissible on Monday, and then a few days later, the viral load increases in my body, and then now I can transmit it. Which is why, Your Honor, a lot of people who are getting tested early are getting negative, even when they probably do have the virus, and then it takes several tests to pick it up, because the viral load has to increase in your body enough to get picked up by the swabs. It has to be in the site that's being tested.
the court finds it very peculiar that the prosecutor is worried about potential COVID-19 exposure now, however, has hung out with the defendant Saturday night and has admitted to that with the defendant's girlfriend in the apartment as well, knowing that the defendant's girlfriend has been out and about. So
Wait,
that
I don't
is
know
more
that. I don't know what she's been doing.
Exactly. You don't know, and you didn't try to find out. So
Yes. Okay, let's not attack Jay because he has.
I'm not
been one of
attacking.
only
I'm the
persons-
court. The court is trying to.
I know, but I'm
The
saying
court has heard. The court has heard everything it needs
Did
to
you say
hear.
the court one more fucking time?
The court has heard everything. The court.
What I would
My
say
court.
is Jay has been one of the few people that I know that has like very closely followed self-isolation, quarantine up until Saturday. That was the first time I've seen him in months. Like,
And that's why the court finds it peculiar that the prosecutor is worried now after already exposing themselves that Friday or Saturday before. What was it, Saturday or Friday?
Okay, but this is
Before.
what I was saying, Neil.
out
I
Monday.
I
You
didn't
just
drink.
tweeted up Monday?
I didn't drink.
Monday.
I-
Oh yeah, well
hung out
Monday
with the
too.
girl. Did
There
you
was an
say, "Oh, you
exposure
were
on
over at my
Monday.
place?"
Correct. There was an exposure on Monday.
No, I'm more
Hold up.
saying he hung out with the girl on Monday. Did you say you were over at my place Saturday? and that she should avoid hanging out with you because I could be asymptomatic or you could be asymptomatic?
Yes, great question.
No, Will, but
Prosecutor?
you didn't have a stroke on Monday. You didn't have a
I didn't
fucking
have a
stroke
stroke
on Monday. Will,
I didn't
how
have a
does that
stroke
not?
yesterday.
Okay,
The
fine.
court believes that the chances the defendant has COVID-19 because of the stroke is slim to none. And if there was
Okay, well, the judge is not a doctor. Let's just say that right now. He's a guy who has a T-shirt of himself.
The judge is speaking.
He has his own T-shirts on. You know what?
No.
This court's out. No, you're out of order. This whole damn courtroom's out of order. I'm sick of this shit.
Let's hear it, Your
Okay,
Honor.
please continue.
I had a point, and you interrupted my point.
All right, I'm sorry.
The court believes it is slim to none. The chances are slim to none that the defendant has COVID-19 because of the stroke. And you stated, I'm not a doctor. Correct. But the defendant did go to the doctor. He went to the hospital and the doctors evaluated him, knowing he could have had a potential stroke. And they still said there's not enough there to even want to test him because they know he doesn't have it. There's no reason to test.
Well, they don't know he doesn't have it. They just
are a doctor.
need to save
You
the
have
test
to
for
trust
people
them
who.
because doctors know about the article that you brought into the court. This is not news. This is not news that nobody knows about. Doctors know what the symptoms of COVID-19 are. The court believes that. So the fact is, the stroke is not what should concern the prosecutor, and it does not concern this court in regards to COVID-19. What the prosecutor should be worried about is the exposure the defendant got while being in the hospital waiting to see the doctors. That's more of the issue. I think there's more, as a judge, the judge believes that there's more of a chance that the defendant got COVID-19 while being in the hospital, rather than because he has a stroke.
And what the defendant would like to state is that there was a pre-screen before going into the hospital to see if you had symptoms or not. They took your temperature, they made sure everyone had masks, and they were quarantining people that had COVID-related symptoms before even. So the urgent care that I went were only people that had issues besides COVID-19. Yes, I agree. That's one of the reasons that I didn't even want to go to the hospital in the first place. But what the doctor I talked to on the phone said, if you did potentially have a stroke, you don't want to die on just taking the risk of getting COVID at the hospital, which I completely agree with. All I'm saying is I think you are more elevated risk of catching COVID at the hospital than you are about your day-to-day life. But that should have nothing to do with what Jay is doing tonight.
Agree.
Because I haven't seen
Has
Jay.
nothing to do with, because
argument and why we got to court together. That's it.
The judge has come to a final ruling.
Okay, let's hear it.
Doesn't
it's
sound
ready.
good for the prosecutor.
Please, Judge, please keep in mind.
The judge has heard everything he needs to hear and has made a final decision on this ruling.
Okay.
And that decision is the defendant, William Traynor, is not mature. The defendant is the opposite of mature in the fact that he had the opportunity, an ample amount of opportunities while being in the hospital, to get a test performed to determine 100%. Do not make that face and don't say a word. This is not the time. You've had your chance to speak. Had ample opportunities to determine 100% whether or not he has coronavirus. And he did not fight back when the doctor said he doesn't need to take the test. And if he would have, the court believes a test would have been performed. However, that being said, the court also rules and believes that the chances of the defendant having COVID-19 at the time of the hangout on Friday or Saturday are extremely low. And the chances that the defendant has COVID-19 are much higher after he's been in that hospital than before he went to the hospital. The stroke is irrelevant. The stroke does not show to the court that the defendant has COVID-19. So the final ruling is that you're both idiots and get the hell out of my fucking court. Both of you. I'm done with this. You guys are idiots. Jay, hang out with her. We'll go get tested. I'm done. Court out. Peace out. I'm out. I got to go play tennis.
Court is adjourned.
Court is adjourned. See you, idiots.
All right. Hey, guys.
People,
anyone who's watching this, please let us know in the comments who you think is right. Me, Will, or the honorable presidential candidate 2044?
Judge Schneider, President Schneider.
Judge Schneider.
Dr. Dad Bod.
I think I'm doing the right thing by at least telling her.
We never brought up how he told her. I really want to hear this. Please, just for a bonus, tell us the words you sent to her.
Okay, sure. As a final little close to this, I'll say what I texted her.
The ruling is set in stone. The ruling.
I know, done. But I just want to.
And I don't like Will, you being like, oh, he's such a good, upstanding citizen. You know what? Because I am trying to actually be responsible. Well, I'm not just trying to do it for the gram like you. I'm actually doing it to do it. Where's Judge Schneider?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so this is what I said. Also, I wanted to mention this, even though I don't think there's a high risk. Will went to the hospital last night because he had a bad headache and numbness in his left arm and tongue after working out. He didn't have any COVID symptoms, so they didn't test him. I did go to his house Saturday night for a couple hours. I didn't get close or anything, and I was really safe about washing hands, but I wanted to let you know, just in case you're being super cautious, I don't have any symptoms or anything, just thought you should know. And if you don't want to meet up in light of that, I understand.
Okay, you know what? That's a very good message. I take back what I said. I thought it was going to come off a lot more, woe is me, I'm a martyr, and you can't see me. So,
yeah, no, that's what I don't like about this whole...
I agree. That gives her the authority to make her own decision. You're putting the evidence out there, and you're not putting it in a way that's like some sensationalizing it. You just gave the facts, said, look, there's a pretty low chance. I saw him. Just want to put it out there. Fair enough. We shouldn't even have done this then. If that's what I do,
the court finds you both. The court finds that both of you are idiots and you're both guilty of being idiots.
I'm not guilty. I'm not on trial here.
The punishment is Venmo me at Neil Schneider, $20 each. Thank you. And you're both, and court is adjourned. Great. I'm glad we could have a conclusion to this. Good luck to everyone. Don't get coronavirus. Cheers.
All right. I think he's out. His shitty background is failing. All right, man. Yeah, no. Well, I think this was good. At least we can put it out there. I'll shoot you guys the video. Adios.
Yeah.
Goodbye. To our viewers, This has been Who Invited Will, a special judicial session. Special session. So
is the Wi-Fi, the connection, seems like your connection's all jacked too. I bet it's gonna look not good.
Well, he's having another stroke, guys. We gotta go. Bye.